Kaitlyn Bristowe reveals best Golden Bachelorette suitor for Joan. October 11, 2024. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Bachelor Nation News. Kaitlyn Bristowe had a front row seat to Joan Vassos' connection with her Golden Bachelorette suitors. Keep reading to find out who the former Bachelorette star thinks has the strongest connection with Joan. Viewers weren't happy to see Kaitlyn Bristowe. Several Bachelor Nation stars have already made appearances on the Golden Bachelorette. Kelsey Anderson, who got engaged to Joey Graziadei on season 28 of The Bachelor, helped introduce her dad to Joan on night 1. Jerry Turner was on a recent episode to give Joan Vassos advice. The official Golden Bachelorette Instagram heavily promoted Kaitlyn Bristowe appearing in the October 10th episode. But a lot of viewers weren't happy to see her, even though her season of The Bachelorette is considered one of the best. Check out some of the comments. No, amore Kaitlyn please. Susan or whoever from Jerry's season would have been a much better fit. Why does Kaitlyn continue to make the screen? Her presence always seems to take things down a notch or two. Kaitlyn must have a godfather/mother in the franchise who loves her. There are so many more deserving, beautiful, and non-problematic ex-bachelorettes to choose from, yet they keep bringing her back. We need to know why. Please stop bringing in former participants. They had their time in the spotlight. They add no value to the show. Do you really think most people want to see them? Stop bringing her back. Nobody is asking for this. I found her presence annoying and irritating. Why is she there? Former Bachelorette reveals best Golden Bachelorette suitor for Joan. So, what was Kaitlyn doing on the Golden Bachelorette? She hosted a striptease date for Joan and several suitors. The men bared all to help raise money for Stand Up to Cancer. Kaitlyn was on the Love to See It with Emma and Claire podcast after the episode aired and shared what she observed during filming. In Kaitlyn Bristowe's opinion, Joan Vassos has the strongest connection with two of her suitors, frontrunner Chalk Chapel and fan favorite Pascal Ebye. Chalk Chapel briefly left the competition to be with his family after his mother's death. Clearly undeniable on TV and off TV. I just think they're so sweet together and I watch them interact, Kaitlyn Bristowe said of the connection between Chalk and Joan. The former Bachelorette also saw a strong connection with Joan and Gary Livingston, but only as close friends. Kaitlyn was right about that. Joan sent Gary home during that same episode. Do you agree with Kaitlyn's choices of Chalk or Pascal for Joan? Sound off in the comments. Today, we're diving into the latest drama surrounding Kaitlyn Bristowe's recent appearance on the Golden Bachelorette. With front row access to Joan Vassos' connection with her suitors, Kaitlyn shared her thoughts on who she believes Joan has the strongest bond with. But first, let's talk about how fans reacted to Kaitlyn's guest spot. Spoiler alert, it wasn't all positive. Kaitlyn Bristowe faces backlash. Let's start with the reaction. Fans were less than thrilled to see Kaitlyn Bristowe, despite her being one of the most popular bachelorettes in franchise history. If you tuned into the October 10th episode of The Golden Bachelorette, you probably noticed how the show's official Instagram account heavily promoted Kaitlyn's involvement. It seemed like a win at first, but the audience didn't quite feel the same way. The fan backlash came quickly, and it was loud. Some of the viewers felt that Kaitlyn's presence took away from the authenticity of the episode. Comments poured in on social media platforms, and here are just a few that stand out. No amore Kaitlyn please. Susan or whoever from Jerry's season would have been a much better fit. Why does Kaitlyn continue to make the screen? Her presence always seems to take things down a notch or two. Kaitlyn must have a godfather/mother in the franchise who loves her. There are so many more deserving, beautiful, and non-problematic ex-bachelorettes to choose from, yet they keep bringing her back. We need to know why. Please stop bringing in former participants. They had their time in the spotlight. They add no value to the show. Do you really think most people want to see them? I found her presence annoying and irritating. Pretty intense, right? For someone whose season is considered one of the best Bachelorette seasons ever, it's surprising to see so much negative feedback. It seems many fans were expecting a fresh perspective or someone more closely tied to the Golden Bachelor demographic. So why is Kaitlyn still such a prominent figure in the franchise? Kaitlyn's role on the Golden Bachelorette. Despite the negative reactions, Kaitlyn wasn't just there to stand around. She actually hosted one of the most talked about dates of the season, a striptease competition where Joan's suitors bared it all for a good cause. The event was held to raise money for Stand Up to Cancer, a cause that hits close to home for many. It's definitely an interesting twist, especially on a show that's aimed at a more mature audience. As awkward as the concept of a striptease might have been for some viewers, it gave Joan and her suitors a chance to have fun, be vulnerable, and connect in ways they hadn't before. The suitors showed off their playful sides, and Joan clearly enjoyed the lightheartedness of the event. The suitors, Chalk Chapel and Pascal Ebvie. Now let's get into the heart of Kaitlyn's involvement, her insights on Joan's strongest connections. During an appearance on the Love to See It podcast, Kaitlyn discussed what she observed behind the scenes and shared her thoughts on which suitors had the best connection with Joan. In Kaitlyn's opinion, two suitors really stood out, Chalk Chapel and Pascal Ebvie. Let's break down what makes these two men such strong contenders for Joan's heart. Chalk Chapel's journey. Chalk Chapel has been a fan favorite for a while, and his connection with Joan is undeniable, both on and off the screen. Kaitlyn emphasized how sweet and authentic their bond seemed, and it's clear that their relationship has been growing steadily. However, Chalk's journey on the show took a detour when he briefly left to be with his family after the passing of his mother. Chalk's ability to be open and vulnerable, especially in such a difficult moment, seems to have deepened his connection with Joan. They share a chemistry that's hard to ignore, and Kaitlyn herself couldn't help but gush about how natural they seem together. As Kaitlyn said, clearly undeniable on TV and off TV, I just think they're so sweet together, and I watch them interact. Chalk has all the makings of a frontrunner, a deep emotional connection, shared values, and a sense of loyalty that has captivated both Joan and the audience. Will he ultimately be the one Joan chooses? Only time will tell, but he's certainly a top contender. Pascal Ebvie, the fan favorite. While Chalk may be the frontrunner in Kaitlyn's eyes, Pascal Ebvie has quickly become a fan favorite. Pascal's warmth and charm have made him a standout from the beginning, and his connection with Joan seems to grow stronger with each episode. Kaitlyn mentioned that Pascal has an effortless way of connecting with Joan, and their interactions seem genuine and heartwarming. Unlike some of the other suitors who may be more forward or competitive, Pascal has taken a more laid-back approach. This strategy seems to be working in his favor, as Joan continues to gravitate toward his calming presence. Kaitlyn observed how comfortable Joan seems when she's with Pascal, and fans have been rooting for him to make it all the way to the final rose. Could Pascal's steady and sincere approach win Joan's heart? Based on Kaitlyn's observations and the overwhelming fan support, it's certainly possible. Gary Livingston, a close friend. Kaitlyn also brought up Gary Livingston as another suitor who had a strong connection with Joan, but it was more a friendship than a romantic bond. Kaitlyn's instincts were spot on, as Joan ended up sending Gary home during the same episode. While it was clear that Joan and Gary cared for each other, it just wasn't meant to be in a romantic sense. Kaitlyn Bristowe's influence in Bachelor Nation. It's worth taking a moment to reflect on Kaitlyn Bristowe's continued presence in the Bachelor franchise. Love her or hate her, Kaitlyn has become a staple in Bachelor Nation. From her time as the Bachelorette to her stints on Dancing with the Stars and her various podcast appearances, Kaitlyn has remained relevant, even as new stars emerge. So why does she keep getting invited back? Kaitlyn brings energy and humor to every situation, and the producers seem to enjoy having her around for the entertainment value she adds. Even though fans were vocal about not wanting her on the Golden Bachelorette, it's clear that Kaitlyn has built a lasting relationship with the franchise, and she's not going anywhere anytime soon. Conclusion: Kaitlyn's picks for Joan's heart. As we wrap up, it's clear that Kaitlyn Bristowe sees something special in both Chalk Chapel and Pascal Ebge. Whether it's Chalk's emotional vulnerability or Pascal's calming presence, Joan has two strong connections to consider as the season progresses. Fans may have been skeptical of Kaitlyn's return to the franchise, but her insights on Joan's love life add another layer of intrigue to this season of the Golden Bachelorette. What do you think? Are Chalk and Pascal the right choices for Joan, or do you have another favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more Bachelor Nation updates.